All right. So, Digitspin Crypto. I want to thank Chris Record for the Huddle Gang song. He gave us permission to include this in our show. Make sure you go visit his channel so you can watch it again. It's good stuff.
Bitcoin and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill.
This is a technology, it's a computing language, and I can build an app on it.
Is Bitcoin the currency of the future?
Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, alt gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain, whoa. I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, alt gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain, whoa. I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Ethereum pays for my rent. Bitcoin pays for the vent. Litecoin pays for the jet. Bitcoin cash for the rest. Spent 30 racks on an ICO. What coin did you buy? I forgot, yo. Just got started last night, bro. And I'm already hooked like a pipe, though. Flipping the coin, making it grow, taking it slow, letting it go. Cash flow's growing, it's incredible to watch it flow. Stacking the cash, taking it home, making it fast. I'm on a roll. Little bit mo's all I ask for the bubble, though. Currently learning about a new type of currency. Burning the dollar down like an emergency. Urgently, listen, my friends have been urging me. Coins have been surging, we're earning like surgency. We on a mission, man. Crypto maniac. Act like you don't really know about it. Stop that. Bitcoin blowing up like a bomb. Step back. Used to be a couple $100. Should've copped that. Blew up on a scene from the mind of a brainiac. Back in 2009, where the miners at? Silk Road, baby, it's gotta be anonymous. Satoshi blew up, now we on the map. Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, alt gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain, whoa. I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Everybody looking at me now and they're shocked now cause the price going down. Meanwhile, I'ma cop more at a discount with a smile cause I'm making money on the altcoins right now. I'ma double down like animal style sup now. People in the crowd, they watching me bubble up now. Open up a brand new Coinbase account and I'm buying everything from Ripple to Litecoin now. Pull out my principle, keep it real simple, then play with the house. Investing in crypto, I'm chasing these coins like they cheese to a mouse. I'm on the verge of a digital currency, merging technologies. This is the future, so obviously I'm all in. There's no bottom, we hodl it now. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Throw your hands in the air, man. If you down with the blockchain. I ain't got time for the haters, man. We about to grow to 1 million. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Tell me, are you down with the crypto? Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Throw your hands in the air, man. If you down with the blockchain. I ain't got time for the haters, man. We about to grow to 1 million. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Tell me, are you down with the crypto?
It is the most powerful technology that the world has seen, I believe, since the invention of agriculture.
Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency.
As with most major technology shifts, let's think about what young people are doing. 32% of young people say they prefer Bitcoin to stocks. 42% of millennial males say they plan to purchase Bitcoin in the next 5 years. We're barely in the first inning right now.
I can't tell you.
He's a tech-savvy guy, gonna show you the way. You better load your bags, cause crypto's here to stay. Listen up, gonna teach you about this and that. But he's just a goofy guy in a straw hat. So join in and have a laugh. It's gonna be a good time, that's a fact. Information and crypto parodies. Sit back and enjoy the show.
You guys got no audio? I feel like I gotta do this all over.
Digitspin crypto.
You missed out on the great intro song. When that happens. Ah, jeez. You guys didn't even hear the Huddle Gang song? Oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed. Apparently my processing system decided not to send the audio. I can tell you're hearing me now, though, right? You guys are hearing me now? Okay, let's put up some stuff on the screen. I'll have to now edit all that out. I can't hear you. All right, now we hear you. All right, so let me lower down the volume. It seems like I'm overmodulating. During the test, everything was good, and it was transferring and sending audio everywhere. And obviously, it went hell in a handbasket on me. There you go. This is the excitement of a live show. So, hey, we'll move on. Oh, you did hear the Huddle Gang song. All right, good. I don't know why you heard one, not the other. That's really bizarre. But I could tell the audio's not transferring over to the input system. Anyway, hey, it's Dino, Digitspin Crypto. Now I'm exhausted tonight. I've had a full day of fun and excitement here at the shop. And apparently I didn't, before I went broadcast, I didn't transmit the audio to my little earpiece. So it ended up coming through here. So I was listening to the song, having a good time. But since now I don't have to wear that because we don't got any audio going on, I can put the little hat back on and don't have to worry about audio. So now that you guys can hear you. All right, we're gonna take a look at Electroneum tonight. Now that you guys had an opportunity to not hear the intro, and we're gonna take a look and see what's going on. What I wanted to do, obviously, Electroneum has been doing some pretty exciting stuff this last few weeks, and started to make some nice milestones over the last few days, and currently now also. So we're going to take a look at these charts. We're going to see, I'm going to tell you what I see, what my predictions are for Electroneum over the next few days. And we're going to talk about, we'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart also, so we can see all of the fun and excitement there. And I'll try to hit some of your questions as I see them. I've put them on the screen so we can see what's going on. So I do see a lot of folks out there. We got XXYs out there, which is good. Phoenix, Mehmet's out there. Federico, good to see you. God bless you too. Gary's out there. Gary Gunsler. And then we got Jermaine. Jermaine's out there. Jane, thanks for visiting the show. Appreciate you. Peshka. He was the first one to say, hey, got no sound. Get your act together. Chase Cooper. Soto San. That's who else we got out there. Gary. And Phoenix. Phoenix Rising's out there. So this is all good stuff. All right, so we're going to... Soto San says, Dino, you're the man. I appreciate that. It's been, I've been like, pinch me, is this real? Is this possible? Man, there's a lot of new viewers that have been watching the shows, and so I wanted to bring that to you, let you guys know on the Digitspin Telegram channel, which is free, and the link is down below. You can join. We interact on a daily basis, and we kind of keep each other up to date almost every few hours, every 4 hours or so, on the charts and where they're going and how the price is doing and any new articles, any new videos, all the good stuff. Hey, Felix, good to see you out there. DeMarcus is saying, hey, we're nearly up 10x on ETN, still holding through. Yeah, you believe it or not, I think it's like 12 or 1400% in the last year, which is, equivalent to what Bitcoin has given. So, believe it or not, you can go to right to CoinGecko. I'm going to prove this so you don't say I'm a liar. And we're going to bring that up. We're going to type in ETN. I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger for you guys. I'm working with a big 35-inch monitor. So that top part of the monitor from like my ear up, that's actually my monitor and how wide it is, which is pretty neat. So if we take a look at CoinGecko, let's see here. I know they have the yearly. All right, over the last year, make this big so you can see it. 1,542%. That's 15x, guys. 15x over the last year. That's done as good as Bitcoin. All right, and as good as Ethereum. The Electroneum is. Don't let anybody tell you that Electroneum is bad. Now, if you're new viewers, you're gonna have a lot of people out there who don't understand Electroneum, never took the time to research it, see what it does, to see all of the amazing interaction with other projects that it has, how it's helping NGOs around the world, how it uses probably the power of about one household to run the blockchain, how it's basically 51% attack proof and resistant, and has the instant payment capabilities, has a significant amount of users in the millions and of registered users. And it's in the middle of right now the process of getting an FCA compliance, which is from the UK, and getting a registration number, which will make it one of the very first coins that'll be fully compliant with AML, KYC, and the Fifth Directive, and all that other good stuff, making it very attractive to governments and businesses and banks. I think a bank could actually, at that point, hold and keep Electroneum, if you think about it, and they can handle all of, you could make your deposit, you could transfer it between cash and stuff at your local bank if they wanted to. And being the biggest crypto project in the UK, there's possibilities in the future. And Electroneum's never said anything as such, but I'm just giving you an example of what could be done. They're going to have first mover advantage, and people all over the world are using the Electroneum. We have Electroneum Mart. He's been using Electroneum for years, and he trades it with his friends. He buys products locally, and then it has the AnyTask system. It's a full, complete different website where it's like a Fiverr. And people around the world who can't afford to have a bank account to get paid on Fiverr get cut out of the ability to earn money. Now, folks in countries where they can't afford, to $10 for the bank account, because it's either that or you got to give up a few days worth of food and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense. But now they can have the value because people in the north can buy a task with a credit card, clip, and right on the website, but it pays them in Electroneum, and all of them have cell phones and can receive the Electroneum and then go down to a store and buy stuff with it. All the phone companies are on the Electroneum app. You can go and pay for your phone bill. There are electric companies on the Electroneum app where you can pay your electric bill in Electroneum. All right, these are the amazing things. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Do yourself a favor, research it, understand it. All right, and the people that have been hodling, they know clearly the value of Electroneum and have been holding through, and this year have seen a 1,542% gain. That's not a pump and dump. A pump and dump doesn't happen over a year. Okay? That is complete positive growth over the year. So, you take a look at it for the last year, the price was 0.2 of a penny. And you get 5 for a penny. 5 for a penny. And we had a nice pump. It stayed steady at that half penny mark for quite a while. And recently, a lot of people are starting to understand, look into, and over the last 50 days, we've seen 500% increase in the last 50 days. So congratulations to everybody that's been holding on to their Electroneum during that period of time for the last year. You've seen some amazing gains in the money that you've spent in your Electroneum and the value that it's brought back to you. And so don't let yourself be fooled. Don't let yourself be fooled. These are some great numbers. Last 24 hours, 16%. This week, 88%. 170% in the last 2 weeks. 220% in the last 30 days. These are some good numbers. Bitcoin hasn't been returning this in that same 30-day period. Bitcoin's at a kind of like at a peak, and for it to double and triple and quadruple is going to take a lot more effort. All right, where coins like Electroneum, where you were able to get on the cheap because it was, a hidden gem. People didn't know about it, didn't look into it. All right, failed to do that, and where it's one of the most used and prized coins because it actually has a function. It actually does help people. It's not, we like to do this or we want to have mass, Electroneum has adoption. Electroneum is helping people. And Electroneum, has instant payment. And, it's already fully KYC and AML compliant. And now it's getting the FCA compliancy. It's in the middle of working on that also. They're way out in front of every other project. I want to say that point blank. They're way out in front of every other project. There's nothing that's going to deliver the goods like Electroneum has. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss out on some wonderful benefits for you and your families. All right, you're not going to see these types of returns in a project that actually does something. And if we take a look at the charts here for let's take a look at the max. So let's go to the trading view. Excuse me. And I'm going to set this to like the daily here. Let's see if we can. If we take a look at our daily, I'm going to shrink this down so we can fit all of the good goodness in here. All right. If you take a look at where Electroneum's been in sat value, all right, at the last bull run, okay, this is where it ended up the last time. All right, you can see here we're making amazing gains because the price of sats, Bitcoin's price, is so high that the sat value is like a bonus multiplier on top of the ability for it to gain sats, and then the price of those sats are higher. So, and people ask, and this is stuff that you're gonna want to know: am I too late to get into Electroneum? All right, and the answer is, you tell me if you're too late to get into Electroneum. All right, this is our target. We want to beat these numbers here. All right. Those gains that we've been talking about, that 1,500% in the last year, and we're just here, all right? we're right down here. Okay? All right? And we have all this to grow. Okay? No, you're not too late. You're not too late. If you're watching these videos, you're smart enough to know that you're going to be in at the early point. All right? Now, is that going to just be a straight line all the way up to here? No. No, it's not. Anybody who tells you that is lying to you. Okay? It's not a straight line. Okay? The process will work its way. There's going to be some ups and downs, just like on Bitcoin. You're going to have retracements, and it'll come down and go back up and down, and as it works its way back up. All right? But once you learn about Electroneum and the community and what it's doing, okay, it's not smoke and mirrors where people are talking about, yeah, we need Mastodon, yeah, we're going to get into Africa, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Electroneum's doing it already. They're actually doing it. They've been doing it for this whole period. Nobody's paying attention except for the whole gang. And you guys know who you are. You're out there. You've been on my channel, on my Telegram group. We've been talking about things, and we know at some point people are going to catch on. They're going to realize what Electroneum actually is doing, and where it's and how far ahead it is in the process to be able to interact with existing financial systems. Electroneum is where you need to spend more time. Look at some of the videos. Do some research. Go to the Electroneum.com webpage. Take a look at it. Go look at some of my other videos. I'm very specific. I give you very, very detailed information. I give you all the facts. I give you the numbers. I explain it all. I throw in a lot of videos for fun. Some music videos. Some parodies to keep you entertained. But the fact of the matter, we're just starting. And if you think this that this 2.5 cents, this 3 cents, we even had 4 cents before we had a little bit of a retracement. And the fact of the matter is, let's get this back down to the hourly. Let's take a look at this here. Again. All right, we had hit 4 cents, and we went back up. All right, and we're going to see a little bit of fighting here. So let's take a look at this chart. And what do I see here? All right, so I'm looking at the hourly and what we had in the MACD at the bottom. And this is important. The MACD seems to be a really good indicator of what's going on. As of the 21st, we started to see this downward trend because we had a death cross here. Let's take a look here on the moving averages for the MACD. All right, at that point there, you usually start to see a downward trend. Okay, and that would follow here. I mean, so basically, there's more sellers. It's just a cycle, and the cycle just seems to happen. All right, we were starting to get an upwards trend, which was here, and what ended up happening is we had a few sell-offs. People are obviously, taking some profit. Nothing wrong with that. But those selling their coins are going to be like, crap, I could have sold them up here for a hell of a lot more if I just would have waited. All right. Now there is cycles, and at certain points, if you're a trader, you're gonna sell at the top and then wait for it to come back down, and then you're gonna buy it back, and then you're gonna take the next rise. That's what folks do in Bitcoin. All right, you buy the dip. Right? You wait for it to maximize at the peak, sell off a few. You have your whole bag. But you keep your trading bag, and so you sell off your trading, and then you wait for it to go down. When you think you hit your rock bottom, you buy back in, and this is what's happening. You get people that sell off, hits rock bottom, people start buying again. All right, so looking at this here, I was the 1 hour. It's above the moving average, which is this green line. All right, it's in a bullish condition at the moment. It had it got support when the sell-off happened. It got support on the moving average. and it's been working in the upward motion. My concern here is that this is a very shallow. This may go back into some negative selling pressure. What should I say? Selling pressure. So on the 1 hour, we may see a little bumping here and there. If we're able to get a golden cross, then this is going to shoot up on the 1 hour. And the reason why I say that, because if we take a look at the 4 hour, the 4 hour is looking reasonably well. We are looking at, let's get rid of all this nonsense here. Let's see if we can do that. All right. So we're looking at, on the 4 hour, we're still in bullish territory, and we don't have any major concerns until this crosses, until the moving averages cross. If it was to cross over the next 12 hours or so, then we'll have more selling pressure. But as of right now, we're still in a bullish trend, even though there's some selling pressure is there. I have a feeling this is going to scoop and come back up again, and we're going to see this moving average continue to go up. So that's kind of leaving me bullish. If I look at the daily, at the moment, the daily, it's climbing, but the daily, again, we're continuing to peak. Our moving averages are aligned right. This is a very bullish looking signal. All right. We're way above the moving average here at this point, this green line. And we're far above it. If I was to take, let's take this up. If I was to take this moving average and move it up the line there over the next few days, I mean, we could come down to 41 sats and still be bullish on the daily in general. All right. And at some point, this has got to retrace, because if you notice, we're starting to arc. We're starting to get a parabola, and it's going to start to peak. And that's when you have your blow off top, and then we'll come back down. But I think we're going to be, up there. I think we're going to be over 100 sats before we see that happen. I think we have a long way to go, because you've got to have some kind of a retracement. The reason is, the further it gets away from this moving average, all right, that means it's on fire. We have a MACD that's clearly heading up to the oversold type of thing, or being heavily sold. So at some point it's going to hit a peak, and my estimate would be some, give or take, around the 100 sat line, and it's going to retrace. It's got to come back to this moving average. So it's got to come back and retrace to try to get a little bit closer to that, and then it'll continue if that's the choice that it makes. That's so far out in the future, I really can't predict that, because you have to really keep an eye on it, on a closer watch, almost on a daily watch. But I am telling you right now that this is over the days is going to go up. I think it's going to be somewhere between the 70s and the hundreds before we peak, and I'm thinking more up towards the 100 sat range before we'll have a respite of needing to stop, regroup a little bit, and here's the key: if this is a huge amount of selling pressure and we're going sideways, we're going up again. Okay. If we start to falter and head down, then there's going to be a retracement. If the MACD starts to come back down and this starts to turn red with the selling pressure and it goes sideways, that means you have still plenty of purchases being bought up to take that downward pressure. And nothing's better than when you see a retracing MACD and it's going sideways, because that is strong if that happens. But that's going to be far out into the future, and we'll address that in future shows, how it's doing and if that's going to actually happen. So daily is bullish. 4 hour is reasonably bullish. It's still in bullish territory. We'll see what happens if this gets into the the heavy selling airline. And that'll be over the next few days if it happens. So for the next few days, I'm seeing this as sideways to upwards movement overall. Okay, and our daily is still is starting to go towards a bullish momentum. Right now, like I said, it's reaching its lower point on the MACD, so I expect this to be able to turn around. My only concern here, like I said on the on this hourly, is that it's very shallow. All right, and the fact that it's been staying kind of level tells me that this is probably going to go back into more sales resistance over the next hour or two. So this is going to be a little choppy over the next few hours on the hourly. And then we'll see what's going to happen. And I'll keep you guys up to date. So I'll try to do more of my technical analysis for Electroneum, so you can kind of get a feel of what's going on. I don't do trading signals and all that other stuff, but we do talk about it heavily on the Digitspin Telegram group. So if you're super interested, want to know more, you're going to want to do that. Keep in mind, a lot of Electroneum's USD value is going to be defined specifically with the price of Bitcoin. All right, because you can hold these sats. But if the sats are worth less, the price is going to come down. So, and it doesn't mean that it came down in sats, it just came down in the USD temporarily until Bitcoin gets its act together. And if we take a look at the Bitcoin charts, Bitcoin is in a resting position. We've had these two giant peaks. And this peak was a lot smaller. It didn't accumulate to the higher levels of excitement that the previous two did. So it kind of ended prematurely. However, this low, if we take a look here, this is pretty much the baseline of where it goes. I see another day possibly of downward pressure. And then once this turns, for the daily, we're going to see the Bitcoin price just shoot up again. And I think we're going to be peaking out somewhere around 70,000, I think is our next hit line. Now, a lot of folks are worried about it crashing down to 40. And is that possible? Anything's possible. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. We're real negative here. So, it's going to want to climb. Once we get all this red, all this selling out, there's a lot of people that are profit taking. And that's the only reason to be getting rid of Bitcoin. They're taking their profits. And this is the reason why we've pushed that MACD down. All right, and the reason that we've been seeing the price go, from that 60,000 down to 48, is it to 52. All right, so, an $8,000 drop. But it's, believe it or not, handling this negative area well. And this is required to keep things going. Because if we take a look at this daily, all right, we have these terms. You'll see this here, where the moving average, on the pullback, the moving average gets breached. We get a sell signal. And then it'll pump up, and then we're gonna. So here, you're gonna see it's breached the moving average, and just when people start to think that they have to sell, it's going to be bought back up again, and this is going to continue. And there's historically, it's not going to crash down. The fact of the matter is that there have been 30%, retracements in previous runs. The problem that I have is now that we have significant amount of institutions, corporations buying into Bitcoin, that's what's caused the price to go, from 4,000 up to the $48,000 range, $52,000 range. If they start to see, prices, that $40,000 price or what have you, they're going to be snapping it up. Come on, they're going to be buying it up. It's a sale for them, and I believe it's a little too late to have a double bubble, because traditionally or historically, the peak should come around November to February of next year. So we're looking at 6-7 months from now. I don't believe that there's enough time for it to drop down and come back up at that speed. Anything can happen with Bitcoin, but I'm not seeing it. I'm thinking that it's gonna get a little slower, and when this thing takes off, it's gonna obviously go further. But this is gonna affect the price of Electroneum, the USD. It's gonna look like it's staying stagnant. So this is something you want to pay attention to. You're gonna say, "Oh, the price hasn't moved. The price hasn't moved." Over the last week, Electroneum's been doing amazing because because the Bitcoin price is going down, which affects the USD. It's been gaining so much in sats that it's actually overcome that and actually shown an increase in value. And so that's the reason why Electroneum's been pretty exciting. And so the key here is that if it starts to, you look at Electroneum, it's just staying at 3.5 cents, just staying at 3.5 cents. Take a look at the SAT value, and you'll see that for it to stay at 3.5 cents, it's had to increase in its SAT value. And so when the Bitcoin price starts to come back up, the price of Electroneum, even if it doesn't even move in sats, the price of Electroneum is going to shoot up because it'll be worth more for each sat that it is. All right. So that's the big key with Electroneum right now, is that the potential for it to really shoot up dramatically and fast is there. And and it's the type of thing you got to take a look at. Hey, maybe I'll hold on to this because I can spend it and pay for my phone or what have you. A lot of people, keep a bag to the side and then they buy themselves some trading Electroneum. But there's value with the coin. You want to take a look into that, and you're going to be very surprised, and you're going to wonder why you didn't get more of the of Electroneum. It's simple as that. But this is really good. If we take a look at this here, this is not a pump. All right, a pump doesn't happen over 50 days. All right, a pump is within 2 days the price goes like this, and then it'll go up and curve up within 2 days, and then drops right back down. That's a pump and dump. This is not a pump and dump. This is organic growth for the project, and it's good to see that folks are starting to understand what Electroneum is about, or at least look into it to realize, there are coins in the top 10, top 20. They have like 2 people, 3 people working on them. There's one guy with a cell phone and answers his cell phone. They're not doing nothing. They're not integrating. They're not being used. Those coins are not even being used. It's literally hype. You're buying in smoke. There's nothing there. Electroneum's got office in Kent. Now, granted, with the pandemic thing going on, there's a lot of work from home. They got over 50, probably like 54 people now. Maybe more. 54 people working, dedicated to find ways to integrate, to make software, to make the product more robust, to make it interact, to make it available to retailers and websites, to be able to have API calls to it, to be able to have the instant payment system, to be able to have any tasks so that people could actually earn true proof of work. You do some work, you get paid in Electroneum. Simple as that. And somebody who needs the work done and somebody that really needs the value so that they can spend it and top off their phone, buy some data, pay their electric bill, can do that. It's a functioning actual product with over 54 people working on it. It's really good that you're paying attention. If you're watching this show, you're paying attention. Don't let it slip by you. Don't let it slip by you. You all know what you can do for yourselves and what you can't do. Don't get yourselves into any type of bind. But look at it. Pay attention. Pay attention. This is an opportunity. All of us that have been hodling Electroneum for the last few years, we know clearly, and the reason why we've done it is because we know the potential of Electroneum, what it can physically do, what it has done, where it is going, and that no other coin has come close to doing what Electroneum has already accomplished. Never mind what they're working on currently. This thing is going to take off whether anybody wants it to or not, because it's going to be used. It is being used. You can see the results on the screen over the last year. 1,514% increase in value. That happens because the coin's being used. People want to keep it in their wallet. They're earning it. They're recognizing a value of 15 times. For every $100 the guy earned, or put in, or bought, or earned on any task, 1 year ago is now worth $1,500. I assure you they're very happy. And as I showed you before, we're just scratching the surface. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. And remember, it's not a straight line up. There's going to be points you're going to be like, holy smokes, what did I buy there? And it's going to drop and it's going to continue. Every coin drops and continues, especially in a bull run. But the trend is clear. You have a history of 1 year at 1,514%. That's a history. That's a trend. It's not like, 3 days ago it pumped 1,500%. You stay away from those coins because that's a pump. If somebody is up 1,500% in 2 days, 1,500% over a year is strategic growth, strategic usage, people understanding it, using it. It's going to get better and better. There'll be a day where Electroneum is going to be $1. Telling you. May not be this bull run. It might be, but I don't know. My crystal ball is broken. But it will be $1 at some point. All right. So I've given you some of that good stuff there, that information. I've demonstrated why this is not a pump. Don't let somebody says to you, this is just a pump and dump. You have the information now. Tell them to go screw off. A pump isn't for a year. All right. Let's take a look at the chat. You guys have been typing all sorts of stuff out there, and I've seen it in the backside of my eye here, and I see you guys are out there. So let's see what I got. Let's see if we can get this all together. All right. Marco, Phoenix Rising. Thanks for mentioning all the hype. It's all hype. ETN is legit, says Phoenix. Yeah, I agree with you, Phoenix. I agree with you. Too legit. Yeah, too legit to quit. Yeah, clearly I'm not getting a job doing any type of rap music anytime in the future. Had myself some KFC. My wife loves the chicken, so we got the Colonel. with 23 herbs and spices. That was good. I'm full beyond belief. It's all hype. Electroneum is definitely legit. Let's see here. Unbanked. They don't need a bank. All they need is silver and gold and cryptocurrency. I agree with you, Pashka. Let's see here. XXYOI saying, Richard L. said in his video last year how Binance is doing a banking the unbanked project with BNB in Africa when he called out CZ. Is this the reason why ETN won't get listed on Binance? I can't even begin to explain to you what is in that man's mind, or should I say the mind of those that run the department. So clearly, if CZ says, he picks up the phone and he says, hey, John, get over there, or whatever name, John in Chinese or whatever. Hey, John, get over there. Make sure Electroneum gets put on the exchange. You know damn well. Oh, he's gonna hang up the phone. Click. You know damn well the freaking Electroneum would be on the website. But for the most part, it's handled by the department, and everybody does their job and based on certain rules and what have you. And there's no doubt that Binance will flex its muscles. Now, having said that, I'm sure Binance would love to have good projects, things that are moving on. That's how they make money. And I don't see them saying, no, we're not going to put Electroneum on forever. At some point, they'll include it. There'll be some interaction to get it on the Binance Global Exchange. I can't use Binance, so anybody in the United States would find themselves locked out because of IP global identification, and you'd be asked not to purchase or to take your coins off the exchange because Binance is basically being scrutinized by the SEC and getting their fingers bad llama they're getting their fingers slapped to keep U.S. folks off their exchange. So don't help U.S. and frankly, Electroneum needs U.S. Canada folks. They need them. All right, there's just a lot of money that's spent from North America into cryptocurrency. So that's going to have to happen. Find a U.S. exchange. There is Binance USA. I'm pretty much done guessing about Binance. If it'll happen, it happens. There are, I think, much better fish to fry regarding exchanges as we go along. I think there are much better fish to fry going along. Carlos goes, New York City hates crypto for sure. Yeah, I think New York State, I'm going to say this because I lived in New York State for a good portion of my life. New York City, the city especially, I just think it hates people. It's the most obnoxious place in the planet to try to live. Point blank. I mean, there's a lot to, quote, do. There's always something happening. When you're looking at Manhattan, it used to be an amazing place. Right now, it's just a shell of its former self at the moment, and I'm not sure it's gonna. New York City's gonna take a long time to be able to get itself back together. Its policies are they're damaging at best. There's so much crime and corruption that happens in New York. It's not even funny. And it's being that they're the hub of the financial hub as of today. As of today, they're the financial hub, of the United States. When it comes to money, that's why you see a lot of New York City, rules and regulations, and you need a license to take a poop. You need a license, to wear sneakers. You need a license I was watching Louis Rossman, and he has an electronics shop. He has to have like 4 licenses: his city tax license. He's got to have his county license. He has to have a license to be able to resell PCs. He has to have a license to do fixing PCs, and he had to have a license to. There was a third license that he had to have. I forgot what it was. And each one, $100 here, $300 there, and wow, it's insane. Everybody sticking their hand in your pocket. Keith's going, hey, I joined late. Are there any other possible exchanges in the works? I can tell you what Electroneum has said. Electroneum has said that they've worked on a legal opinion letter to talk about how they're compliant with SEC regulations and rules. I can tell you that Richard has made it clear that with that he would submit to most of the largest exchanges in the United States. At some point, this was made known. I can tell you that they're working on the FCA regulation to get themselves a registration number. I can tell you that based on a video I did a few days ago, that the FCA regulation process has been a nightmare for the companies that are attempting to get registration, due to the fact that the government truly doesn't understand, doesn't have the proper amount of resources being applied, and because of that, they're making them do, normally, all right, you're this type of business, you have to do items 5 through 10. Oh, you want to be a national bank, you got to do items 1 through 100. And they're just throwing the books at anything that's touching crypto and saying, just do 1 through 100. And instead of identifying what's actually needed for crypto businesses and putting them through the ringer, because if they can pass that, then they're okay. So they're throwing everything at them because of what laziness is, in my personal opinion. So I think that process needs to continue, and from my vantage point, I think that'll be another good thing, that once the registration does happen, no matter how long it takes, like I said in other videos, the Electroneum team are some of the most determined. Said they're like sort of like my like my Jack Russell. He wants to get something, he's in there, and he'll dig it up or chase it or until he gets it, and the Electroneum team is focused. They're determined. They have their eye on the prize, and they will do whatever is required. Let me set that straight. Let me say it again. Electroneum will do whatever is required to get their FCA registration number. They want to be one of the first. They want to be compliant. So with the government. So that the product would be the first one of its kind to be able to be integrated into businesses, banks, governments, you name it. Because once you have that FCA registration, you're obviously doing everything by the book. and the people using that cryptocurrency can count on it being monitored, tracked, as far as it being at KYC and AML compliant. There's no issues there that it isn't. So that takes a lot of weight off of, because if you think about it, you go into the coffee store and you say, hey, I want a Kentucky Fried. I want to get myself a soda and some extra crispy chicken, and I want to pay you in Electroneum. How many people are gonna say, I want to pay you in Electroneum? Well, less than 1% initially. All right, now somebody pays them in Electroneum, and it's not with the registration number. How do they know that this money is viable for KYC and AML compliancy? Now that Kentucky Fried Chicken takes on the responsibility that they could be laundering money, they could be receiving funds that are coming in illegally into the country. They've opened themselves up to a responsibility level, and this is the reason why you don't see a lot of, besides volatility, you don't see a lot of companies wanting to do that, except Elon Musk and Tesla, who's going to be accepting Bitcoin. Now, if you go in and you say, hey, if you take Electroneum, it's FCA registered, they know, then they get the Electroneum, it's a safe thing to get. There may even be a possibility that the bank says, hey, you know what, we're going to add Electroneum for this custodial. We're going to hold Bitcoin, and we're definitely going to hold Electroneum. It's got an FCA registration number. It's as good as the bank. It's doing the same job the bank's doing. It's like any other bank interacting with it. Maybe we'll add it. You'll be able to have dollars and get paid out in Electroneum, or Electroneum and get paid out in dollars. I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm saying that the door will open for it to happen, and it's very, very possible. Very, very possible. So these are things to look forward to. It's a possibility something like that can happen because of the compliancy that no other coin can offer. No other coin will be able to provide at this, when Electroneum can. So, let's see. With the U.S. airport, Jermaine saying, with the U.S. airport deal, I hope that green lights ETN getting listed on Coinbase. I don't know if and when it'll ever get onto Coinbase, but I would tend to think that, and I believe Richard has made it very clear that was one of the exchanges that he was going to court to cover or to add Electroneum to. And I'm sure that there's a lot of, those exchanges. Coinbase is not going to stick their neck out for anybody, especially when they want to go with an IPO pretty soon. And they don't want any feather ruffling. So the case has got to be airtight for any coin that they're going to add, and that it's not a security, so they don't get tied up with anything. So they're probably asking for quite a lot, and I'm sure most of the exchanges are. And it's just a matter of not a matter of if. I think it really comes down to a matter of when something like that would happen. Let's go back here. Okay, Marcel. Marcel says, hey, Dino, what about the Ledger and the content creator platform? Any news? I have not heard anything about the content creator platform. I'm sure I could put a $100 bet on this. I am positive that there is a ton notes and things to talk about at Electroneum. But let's look at this. Remember I told you they want to get their FCA registration done. We know for a fact that the FCA has not made the process easy. We know that fact because a group of the crypto community in the UK, the UK consortium for cryptocurrency, put together a letter, an open letter, to the Treasury, HMS Treasury Department, basically, explaining their concerns. And the video is maybe a week or so ago. It's getting registration, FCA registration is harder than it looks. You can watch that video. I read through that letter in detail. So we know that it's not an easy process. And and I've made it clear, Electroneum will do whatever it takes. They will rewrite code. They will, number documents. They will check every user's account to make sure it's in compliance. They will do whatever they've got to do. Whatever they got to do. I've shook Richard's hand. I know Oliver. I know Jonathan. I know Chris. I've personally looked at them in the eyes. All right? These guys are up for any challenge that comes up. And they will meet it. And they will do whatever they've got to do. Now, the goalpost keeps moving because everything they want to do is they're the first ones to try it. And so everything kind of, you actually want to try to make that jump? Well, hold on a second. We're going to lift it up here. Right? And that has, caused Electroneum to be delayed because out of their control, because they're the first ones, heading out west. They're the one taking the arrows. Okay? And so the fact of the matter is, their Electroneum is not going to talk. They are not going to say anything right now. And I'm sure, as far as Ollie's concerned, the PR manager, and Jonathan, the marketing manager, I'm sure that's making them crazy because I'm sure they have a lot of stuff that they would love to tell us. But I can't see, from my perspective, how that would benefit them. All right? Right now. Then this is my personal opinion. I don't see how this can benefit them. You don't want to paint any seagulls in the picture right now. All right? Guy wants a beach scene. Paint them a beach scene. Don't go adding anything more right now. Just get the guy to cough up the check, and then you can make another painting with seagulls in it. Okay? You don't mess around, and they will do whatever it takes, including not telling you nothing. And I can tell you, and I know for a positive that they wish they could be talking about all sorts of stuff and telling you about their future plans, where they want to go, what they want to do. I'm sure Richard loves to talk. He loves to tell you stuff. He loves to do the interviews. I assure you, he would love to be online telling us all the gooey goodness about Electroneum right now, but they're not going to say nothing. All right? They can't do any wrong by not saying anything. Okay? And they've got to get this registration number. It is paramount. It is the most important thing that could happen. So if you're expecting any news from Electroneum, don't hold your breath. All right? This is why the community is here, to keep things rocking and rolling. We can talk all we want. We can make up whatever we want because we don't know any better. Okay? But we can connect the dots. We can see the papers. We can see the things that are being written in articles. Very easy to connect the dots. Okay? It's very easy to see, where the potential is, what could happen. So, don't expect any news. Now, regarding Ledger, I believe They submitted that before the pandemic. It was like a year and 15 months ago to Ledger. We went into pandemic. We had all sorts of nonsense to deal with. Electroneum had a... See, here's the thing. Electroneum had, if I'm not mistaken, last summer, a upgrade to the blockchain, what they call a hard fork, which is basically a software upgrade. All right, which means that all of the nodes had to be upgraded, which means that the code for the ledger wouldn't be right. They would have had to rewrite the ledger submission and resend it back in. Now, I don't know. They may have other changes coming down the pike. You know, this year also, they seem to release stuff every 9 months. They seem to do an upgrade, a blockchain upgrade every 9 to 12 months. And we're 3 months away from that 12-month mark. Historically, there would be historically, Electroneum has had, you know, blockchain upgrades, you know, every 12 months, give or take. Which means that they would have to then upgrade the ledger code again and send it back in. So, it's probably a combination of Ledger taking a long time to respond and to get it on there, and by the time they do, there's probably been changes from last summer, and so that had to be updated. They probably went to do the update, and then they got into this registration, the FCA registration in July. It probably took a back burner because Ledger wasn't responding because it was still in the middle of the COOF, the worldwide COOF, and you know, so if I was to take, you know, educated guesses, this is kind of where I'm seeing it. I think that's a combination of trying to get everything to match up so that you can get it taken care of. Now, if let's look at this realistically. If you're Electroneum right now, and yeah, you have 54 people working for you, doing some amazing stuff. You can look at their websites and see it. You can look at what the product does and see it. And they're all busy, and you have a limited amount of high-end folks that do the enterprise development. A few key people that really have to be involved with that. You know, where do you apply your resources? Do you put it into the upgrading the ledger software and getting at the ledger and let them sit on it? Or do you put it into making changes and upgrades and updates that the FCA is requesting? You know damn well you're gonna, and you know that everything is reliant on getting this FCA approval. You know that you're gonna put, you're gonna dump the whole barrel of powder into the gun to make that work. There's no way that Electroneum is spending core development on the enterprise level, doing anything else but modifying, upgrading, converting whatever is being requested of them of the environment, background interaction app, whatever it is, to be able to check off a box on the requirements list of this FCA. All hands on deck in regards to the FCA, because you and me both know that there's no way that Richard likes to talk. There's no way that he's happy about not being able to say anything, or not wanting to be able to say anything, because taking a chance to accidentally say something inadvertent that can be misconstrued, that can be misunderstood, and all of a sudden the regulator goes, wait a minute, what was that? You don't want the government in your shorts. Okay, it's as simple as that. The last thing you want is the government in your shorts. Get them out. Give them the answers. Yes, no. Yes, I can do that. Here's your results. Here's the list you asked for. Yes, no. Yes, yes, yes. You don't volunteer anything else. You do what they ask. You get it taken care of. And you get them off your property. So that's how that works. So regarding Ledger, logic dictates, based on what we've been able to learn, and being that I'm a CEO of a company that's significantly smaller than Electroneum, but I have been chief information officer for a couple of public companies, and you can use logic to dictate that that's probably been not shelved, but put lower on the list for now. That would be my personal opinion, and that Electroneum has not stated as such. They're not going to talk about anything right now, but based on my experience, and through the many decades of life on this planet, corporate experience, I would tend to believe that to be true statement. Let me just check to see if anybody added anything new before I get back to that. Yeah, Phoenix, I'm telling everybody true facts. That's exactly right. All right. Let's go back up here. I'm going to try to get a couple more questions. If you have any questions, drop it in now. I'll get to it. I'm going to probably take two more and then we'll close it out. But I want to get a couple more in here. Ryan's saying, yeah, we definitely wanted to get trading, from that 8 to 22 cents. I think you're right. That would the 20 Electroneum hitting that 22 cent mark. It would be life changing for many people. Everybody says $1. We want to see that dollar. We want to see that dollar. But even at 22, 25 cents would be life changing for many, many people who've bought, last year. Okay. Phoenix saying also, yeah, volume's been growing in 6.6 million USD. And that's just on KuCoin alone. That's exciting. Ryan saying, love to get on your show, Dino. ETN holder here from the UK. Well, we appreciate you showing up and chatting there. We appreciate that. Gary saying, hey, Dino, by the time ETN hits its all-time highs, it will have formed a massive cup and handle, and we know what happens after that. ETN community is one of the most valuable assets to the project. Amazing people, all with knowledge to share. Let's see here. Pashka saying, hey, Dino, it takes forever to get the KYC done just to withdraw your coins from the ETN wallet. And they keep declining valid documents. So there's a couple things. Obviously, when you first start up the app, you have to download. There's another program you have to download. I forgot what it was. And that does the validation of your ID and gets you like level 1. You can then go into the app itself and apply for level 2 and 3 if you're going to be moving larger volumes of coin, or you're going to be buying significant amounts of dollars. Now, that process works reasonably well. And cryptocurrency is not like going to the bank, you get yourself KYC, this and anything, you show the guy the ID, they scan it all in, and the next day you're all set. Most cryptocurrency products take 5 to 10 days. There are a couple that can do it the next day using these toolkits. the Electroneum one gets you ID'd and gets you level 1. But once you start getting into 2 and 3, you have to start showing that you have proof of income. You have to start showing where you live. And you have to have more documentation to prove that it's you. Additionally, it may not be fun to say, but the truth of the matter is there are certain countries that get put on lists from the northern countries where they're concerned about money laundering. And if you're in one of those countries, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to get KYC. You're going to have to show a lot more proof, or should I say, you're going to have to be very clear in the proof that you have presented. If you're, moving tens of thousands of dollars of Electroneum, okay, they want to make sure that it's not being laundered. They want to make sure it's not terrorism money. They want to make sure it's not for nuclear weapons. And I understand the process, because it's part of what helps keep countries safe, to make sure illegal monies, drug monies, and stuff like that, monies that can't be identified where it came from. That's why they like digital money. They like when you use the credit card, they can see your paycheck getting deposited into your bank with automatic deposit. They see you spending it on the credit card for a girly magazine and a cup of coffee at 7-Eleven, and that you buy gas on Thursdays. All right, they know where the money's coming from. They know where you're spending it. When a chunk of cash comes plop out of nowhere, okay, and we're talking in the United States, it's $10,000 in cash or more. The bank goes, excuse me, where did this come from? They have to report it. All right, they can take the money, put it into the bank. Sometimes it'll get delayed for release, even though you're putting it in as cash. And they then send a marker to the government saying, psst, this guy Dino is depositing $10,000 every week, or $25,000 in his bank account every week. All right, and then you're gonna get at the front door, and they're gonna, can we talk to you? Where you getting this money? Are you digging it up from your backyard? Is it falling off a tree? Did your great aunt die and leave it in a mattress? Where did this money come from? Because it's just not natural. All right. If somebody's got, is it drug money? Is it earned? Did you, do you, are you a panhandler and you're able to make $25,000 a week in quarters and dollar bills? You have to show where the money came from, because it would be notoriously that it's, for the most part, I bet you the percentage could be pretty significant. Now, if you have a registered business and stuff like that, I'm sure they'll let you deposit it and everything, but they're still going to report it. All right. And the reason is that that's how a lot of money gets laundered. You guys all watch Breaking Bad. They bought the car wash, or whatever. I think it was a car wash, and made it look like they washed 10,000 cars a day, and to put the money into and they'd pay the tax on it and everything, because it was cheap to do that, to get the money deposited, even though they washed only 20 cars a day. They were reporting that they washed 2,000 cars a day, and here's the profits, and I did it legitimately, and they're depositing cash. It's money laundering, taking illegal money, which this guy was selling, recreational activities, and taking the cash and throwing it in there. That's what he was doing. It's illegal. Can't do that. All right. And that's how they find those people. All right, and it's the same thing with cryptocurrency. All right? So if you're depositing enough in there, if you're going to be buying lots of coins, all right, you've got to show that you're earning the money to buy that. You got to show a paycheck. Yeah, hey, I make $200 a week, and I buy $100 worth of Electroneum a week. My paycheck covers that. It is a legitimate purchase. I have the ability. I make $200 a week, and I'm buying $10,000 a week of Electroneum. There's a problem. Okay, and unfortunately, if you're in certain countries that are on the what they call blacklist or watch lists, I think they call them now, you're going to be having to show proof because there's a very high percentage of quote illegal activities that seem to transpire in those particular countries. And unfortunately, it ends up on your shoulders. Not your fault. It's your problem. And it's just the way life is, unfortunately. All right. So, now, to your point of, from Electroneum, they keep declining documents. Obviously, I don't know what level you're at, but you want to be able to show proof that whatever coins you have in there, that you had the ability to purchase them. If your brother lent you the money, if somebody deposited 1 million coins, 1 million Electroneum into your account, you're going to have to account for that. You're going to have to show where those came from and why. And once your account, with the, here in the States, once your account has been flagged for some kind of suspicious activity, it actually is flagged and it's considered in investigation. So you're now being, your account is now being investigated. It has to be evaluated, has to be confirmed that you are who you are, and that where the money came from. So it's I'm sorry about the clicking there with the pen. So they're gonna have to, and now anything here in the States, anything that's under investigation, the police can't talk about it, and there's no comment given. All right, so they can't really talk to you about it because, quite frankly, you're being investigated. All right, if if somebody handed you $100,000 and said, "Hey, can you buy me some Electroneum with this?" and you keep 5% for yourself, and you went and did it, and those coins are still in your account, you're gonna have a problem. All right, because you're not going to be able to show where the money came from, and your account isn't going to get unlocked. If you've done everything right and you have, take a look at your account. If you have a lot of coins in there, you want to send documentation showing, hey, here's my bank account. Here's the funds that I deposited to buy those coins. This was the price during that period of time. If you traded, you can show the trade from whatever exchange you're using. Hey, I bought 1,000 coins and I was able to, because I'm a trading genius, I was able to trade that up to 100,000 coins. Here's my trades. Provide proof. So I would tend to think that if you have a lot of incoming and outgoing transactions, you're going to get flagged. I have a feeling if you got a lot of coins in there, you're going to get flagged. If you're in one of the countries that are on the watch list, you're going to get flagged. Definitely if you hit numbers 1 and 2. And you're going to just have to provide that. The documents have got to be clear. You got to be able to see clearly the information. The names have got to match the account. And the problem is that you're not going to get a lot of information initially. As they're going along, Electroneum and the FCA are learning how to and what they can say and not say. The process, on average, seems to take 6 to 8 weeks. If you've been, let's just say you had your KYC and you've had a lot of transactions, or you've got 40 million coins in there. The FCA rules say that hey, this has got to be validated. So the account immediately would have to be locked based on what I've read, and then you'd have to go through the process. And this kind of happened all at once because the FCA said get all these accounts locked. I'm sure these don't meet qualifications, and like I said, Electroneum will do whatever they have to do to come into compliance. And if it requires locking any of the accounts that don't meet the FCA guidelines, so that they have item number 86 on the list, and it says any transactions over 10,000 that haven't been validated, the account has to go into investigative mode, which means it has to be locked. And they're going to have to just go lock these accounts. And so it's going to be up to you, and it's going to take some time. Open a service ticket, 1, and keep with the follow through. All right. If you've been working on this for over 8 weeks, if you've been working on this for 3 months and you're not getting anywhere, you can reach out to some of the Electroneum team via Twitter. They will ask for your ticket number. They will, get your information. They'll get your ticket number, and they will, quote, walk it over to the proper department and say, excuse me, when you get a chance, can you take a look at this one? Kind of move to the top of the list. If it's been over 3 months, you could try that, and that has been very successful for many people. The fact of the matter is, there may be some accounts that just won't be able to pass the requirements tests and may never be locked. If you've borrowed a bunch of money, or I should say, if you were given a bunch of money, $100,000 to buy cryptocurrency, and you don't have the means to own that, you may not be able to get that account unlocked, and that's not Electroneum's fault. That's the EU regulation, and you'll have to work through the process. It's going to take you a lot longer to get that account cleaned up. All right, this is it's part of being able to interact with existing financial systems. All right, they're just not going to let money just come out of thin air, be pumped into the system and spent into the system unless they know where it's coming from. Simple as that. And this is coming for everything, including Bitcoin. This is why you see here in the States they're talking about having the KYC any account that's dropping money into some of these exchanges. So if you have a Coinbase account, you have your Bitcoin in there, and you want to deposit Bitcoin into that account, or the wallet address that the money is coming from has to be KYC'd, has to be acknowledged that, hey, that's your account, and you're validating that belongs to you. All right, so that they know where the money's coming from. They can't go all the way down the line, but whatever money is directly depositing it, you're going to have to KYC it. They're going to want to know where this money's coming from. Simple as that. All right, let me see if there's any last minute questions, and then I'll go from there. Yodi, yeah, there it is. You want to know when he says it's Yodi. Yodi app is the one that ends up being used to validate your initial KYC, your license and all that. Now, keep in mind when you're using Yodi, when you're first doing, you have your phone. They ask you to put the camera up to the phone. Wiggle the license around so that the hologram can be seen and it can be reflective. If it doesn't see that, because it's actually not taking a picture, it's actually taking a video. And by moving around like this, the hologram will shine. And that's how they kind of validate it's real. Dino the Bambino. How you doing, Zach? Good to see you. Hey, Duncan. Hey, you made it. All right, let's see here. What's the level? XXYY. How do you verify which level of KYC you have in ETN already? If you go into ETN and you go into other options and then or settings or what have you, it's on the website, and then you can see if you're level 1, 2, or 3. If you're just at level 3, you're taking care of everything, and there's no option. If it's not listed there as, because it has level 1, you're done. Upgrade to level 2 and upgrade to level 3. Click here, and you do those things. So you'll see it. Curtis Mack, hey Dino, another great show. Thank you for what you do for the community. Oh, I appreciate that, Curtis. It's good to see that the content has value to you, and I appreciate. Listen, I appreciate everybody who spends a little bit of time, and I'm impressed that you guys were smart enough to take the time to learn about Electroneum, so that you too can see those 1,514% gains over a year. You sure as hell ain't going to get that at a bank. And there's going to be a benefit to you. I think we've taken a lot of time tonight. I think we had a lot of fun. I love answering some of the questions to the best of my ability. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, just a goofy guy in a straw hat. But take a look at the shows. Do yourself some research. Get yourself some Electroneum. What's in your wallet? See you next time.